I recently went to watch the Odyssey. And if you are about to watch the Odyssey, there is one thing you should know. Now, despite the title, it's actually a sequel. Yes, I know, nobody really tells you that. But to understand why one man spends 10 years trying to get home, I think it's important for us to understand why he left home in the first place. So before you watch it, or maybe even if you already have, let's go back. No, not to the movie that you can go to the theaters and watch, but to the beginning of the whole story. Because what you are about to see on screen is really the last chapter of something much bigger. So, this story begins in ancient Greece, but not the Greece you are picturing. Ancient Greece was not one country, it did not have one king. Ancient Greece was made up of dozens of small kingdoms, and these were scattered across the coasts and the island. Each of these kingdoms had its own king. Now, some of these kings traded with each other, some married into each other's families, and some just simply went to war with each other whenever it suited them. But there was something that everyone agreed on. The gods were real. Not one god, mind you, many. A god of sea, a god of war, a goddess of love, a goddess of wisdom. And here's the part that makes Greek mythology so different from most religions. These gods weren't distant, perfect, untouchable beings sitting quietly in the clouds. They were petty. They played favorites. They fell in love. They got jealous, they held grudges for centuries, and made the exact same mistakes that humans make. So basically, if you take away the immortality from them, they were just like people, very powerful, very emotional people. And it is one of their arguments that was about to start a war. Now one day, the gods throw a wedding. The bride is Thetis. She is a sea nymph, and the groom is Peleus, a mortal hero. And because this was a wedding between a goddess and a mortal, it wasn't a small affair. Every major god on Mount Olympus gets an invitation. Well, every god except one. Her name was Eris. She was the goddess of chaos and discord. Now think about it for a second. If your whole reason for existing is causing chaos, how do you think you will feel about being the one god left off the guest list? So, Eris doesn't yell. She doesn't cause a scene at the gate. She simply walks into the wedding, doesn't say a word, but places a single golden apple on a table, turns around and leaves. On that apple, 3 words are engraved: to the fairest. That's it. That was the whole gift. And within minutes, that one apple had turned the most important wedding on Mount Olympus into the ugliest arguments the gods could have ever had. 3 goddesses look at the apple, and each one is instantly convinced it's hers. Hera, queen of gods, wife of Zeus, and obviously, arguably the most powerful woman on Olympus. Athena, goddess of wisdom and war, and Aphrodite, goddess of love and beauty. 3 of the most powerful beings in existence fighting over one apple. No god wants to get in the middle of that one, not even Zeus. So, the gods do the smartest thing possible. They hand the decision to someone else entirely, a mortal, a young Trojan prince named Paris, just a shepherd really. And suddenly, 3 goddesses are standing in front of him, waiting to be chosen. Except this isn't a simple beauty contest. These are goddesses. They don't just show up and smile, they negotiate. Hera goes first. Choose me and I will make you the ruler of the greatest kingdom on earth. Then Athena comes and says, choose me and I will make you the greatest warrior who has ever lived. Aphrodite waits, lets the other 2 finish, and then quietly, almost like she already knows she's won, says, choose me and I will give you the love of the most beautiful woman in the world. Power, glory, love, pick one. Which one do you think Paris picks? Well, obviously, love. He hands Aphrodite the apple. And in doing this single act, he makes 2 of the most powerful goddesses in existence his enemies for life. Hera and Athena never forgive him. More importantly, they never forgive his city, Troy. Aphrodite made Paris a promise, the most beautiful woman in the world. But there was just one problem with that promise. She was already married. Her name was Helen, and legend says her face was so beautiful it would one day launch 1,000 ships. She was married to Menelaus, the king of Sparta. Sometime later, Paris travels to Sparta. Menelaus welcomes him with open arms because in ancient Greece, hospitality wasn't optional. A guest was treated like family. And that's exactly what makes what happens next more brutal. Now, some versions of the story say that Paris and Helen fell in love and ran away together. Others say that Paris took Helen by force. Well, nobody agrees, and honestly, nobody ever will. But here's what everyone agrees on. One morning, Paris sails out of Sparta, and Helen is on that ship with him. Now, picture Menelaus. His guest is gone, his wife is gone, and the Prince of Troy is already halfway across the Aegean Sea. This isn't just heartbreak. In that world, this is public insult. A declaration that Troy does not fear Sparta or any consequences that might follow. Menelaus is furious. But this talked about being Helen a long time ago. This was about honor. And in the ancient world, a king who lets an insult like this slide looks weak, and weakness invites enemies. So Menelaus does the one thing he knows will actually work. He calls in an old promise. Now, years earlier, when Helen was still choosing a husband, every king and prince who wanted her hand had made an oath together. Whoever wins her, we will all defend that marriage. If anyone ever steals Helen, we fight together to bring her back. Nobody actually thought that that oath would ever actually matter, but now it did. So messengers ride across Greece. One by one, they knock on the doors of the kings and the princes, and every single time, the message is the same. It's time. Some kings don't hesitate. An oath is an oath, remember? This is a matter of honor. Others are far less thrilled because Troy isn't next door. It's across the sea. This isn't a weekend expedition. If they go, they could be gone for years. Some of them will never come home. And among all these reluctant kings, there is this one man who wants absolutely nothing to do with it. His name is Odysseus. Odysseus already has everything he wants. He rules Ithaca, which was a small kingdom in Greece. It was not the richest, not the most powerful kingdom, but for Odysseus, it was home. He has a beautiful wife, Penelope, and unlike most men in these old stories, Odysseus genuinely and deeply loved her. They have a baby son together, Telemachus. So clearly, there was no glory waiting for him in Troy that he didn't already have right there. Odysseus didn't want this war, but fate doesn't ask you what you want. He is bound by the same oath as everyone else. So he does what he has to do. He kisses Penelope goodbye. He holds his little son one last time. He boards his ship and sails away. He has no idea that it will be 20 years before he sees his wife or his son again. The Greek reach Troy, and Troy is not just some city on a hill. It's a fortress. Walls so massive, so thick, that storming them looks almost impossible. The Greeks arrive expecting a quick fight. Instead, they get a siege that refuses to end. Months become years, years become a decade. 10 years of fighting, 10 years away from home, and the walls of Troy still stand. The Trojans almost start to believe that they might genuinely be invincible. Now, while every Greek general is asking the question, how do we break through these walls? One man asks a completely different question. So Odysseus asks, what if we never have to break the wall at all? And out of that one question comes one of the most famous ideas in human history. Odysseus proposes something that sounds on paper insane. Build a giant wooden horse. Hide a small squad of Greeks' best warriors inside its hollow body, Odysseus included. Leave it on the beach, and then make the entire Greek army disappear. Burn the camps, load the ships, sail out past the horizon as if the whole war is over and Greece has finally given up and gone home. The next morning, when the people of Troy wake up, they climb their walls, look out onto the sea and freeze. The Greek ships are gone. After 10 years, the war is over. On the empty battlefield though, only two things remain: an enormous wooden horse and one lone Greek soldier left behind. His name was Sinon. The Trojans drag him into the city, demand answers. Who are you? Why did they leave you? What is that horse for? Sinon is terrified, or at least playing terrified extremely well. Sinon claims that the Greeks turned on him, abandoned him. He says that the horse is a gift to the goddess Athena, built deliberately oversized so that the Trojans could never drag it inside their own walls. One man wasn't really buying any of it. His name was Laquan, a priest of Troy, and he says the two most important words anyone says in this entire story: absolutely not. But then, according to legend, two enormous sea serpents rise out of the water and kill him on the spot. Now, to the Trojans watching, this wasn't just a coincidence. This was a sign. The gods are angry that Laquan insulted the horse. So the gates of Troy open. Hundreds of hands grab the ropes. The horse rolls through the streets of Troy with Odysseus and his soldiers hidden inside, holding their breath. Outside, the city celebrates. For the first time in 10 years, Troy sleeps peacefully. Now, sometime after midnight, when the streets have gone silent, the hidden compartment inside the horse slowly opens. One by one, the Greek soldiers climb out into the dark. They move quietly to the city's massive gates. They reach them, unlock them, swing them open. And out at the sea, the Greek fleet that supposedly had fled was never actually gone. It had been waiting just beyond the horizon the entire time. The moment the signal is given, the ships turn back. Thousands of Greek soldiers pour back into Troy, this time through the front door. What follows is one of the most tragic nights in all of Greek mythology. A city that survived 10 years of war falls in a single night. The king of Troy is killed. By sunrise, the war is over. The Greeks have won. Helen is found. Menelaus takes her back. And the kings who left home a decade ago finally start preparing for the journey home. For most of those kings, the story ends right there. They sail home, back to their kingdoms, their families, their lives that they had left behind 10 years earlier. But not Odysseus. For him, the real story is only just beginning. Because on his journey home, Odysseus is about to anger a god, outwit monsters, lose every single one of his men, travel to the land of the dead, hear a song so beautiful it could almost kill him. He's going to face the Cyclops, the Sirens, Scylla and Charybdis. And back in Ithaca, none of that helps Penelope. She has no idea if her husband is alive or dead. 20 years have passed since he kissed her goodbye. The baby she once held in her arms is now a grown man, and neither of them knows if Odysseus will ever come home. That is the Odyssey. So the next time you sit down to watch it, remember, you're not just watching one man's journey trying to get home. You are watching the final chapter of a story that began with a wedding party where someone forgot to invite a very important person. A story which has a golden apple that started a war, a stolen queen with a face so beautiful it could launch 1,000 ships, and a 10-year war, and most importantly, one wooden horse that changed history forever. Odysseus' greatest challenge is still ahead of him. What happens to him next? Well, go watch the movie, or better, go read the Odyssey itself. Let me know in the comments what you find. And for more stories like this one, like, subscribe because it's absolutely free, and stay curious with Mostly Curious with Dr. Shweta.